I want to accept this with a prayer. I thank you, Lord, for my birth and everything that's followed. I thank you, Lord, for today, and I will pray for tomorrow. I thank you, Lord, for the love of my life and the friend. I made a promise, and I'm loving my wife till the end. I thank you, Lord, for your guidance, because it's all that counts. And right here, right now, Lord, this is your house. I thank you, Lord, for a dream that came true to light. And I ask you to bless everybody in this room tonight. I don't always do the right thing. And I ask you to forgive me, because I need you here with me. Without you in my life, it's empty. I think back how some people did me like violence was the remedy. And because I think of them now, I will praise my enemy.
Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
I can admit to being out of touch, to realize that New York drill came and went without me realizing that it was ever really present. Vaguely understood that it was a thing. I had no idea that Bobby Shmurda would be considered part of it. But I ran across this title. I seen the thumbnail with these faces and said, that sounds interesting. So with no further ado, let's see what the New York drill scene and its downfall has been up to.
The city that gave birth to hip-hop is now burying its own children. New York, once the heartbeat of rap, rhythm, and rebellion, now sounds like a funeral. It all started with dreams, beats, and street pride. Bobby Shmurda lit the fire. Pop Smoke gave it life, and the world started to believe again. But just when hope was rising, it all fell apart. One by one, every voice that tried to rise was silenced, by fame, by fear, or by fate. Pop Smoke's voice still echoes through New York's cold nights, a reminder of what could have been. Fivio tried to keep the dream alive. K-Flock brought raw energy. Casanova brought the streets to the charts. But Destiny had already written a different story. Every verse became a goodbye. Every hit song, a cry for help no one heard. Today, New York drill isn't just a sound. It's a heartbreak, a cycle of pain repeating itself. The same city that once built legends now watches its young kings disappear, one after another. And the question haunts the world, what really killed New York drill? Was it the fame, the streets, or the curse that comes when dreams grow too fast?
I mean, what about the fact that maybe drill does not really line up with the identity of New York? Maybe it was just a fade, a phase, a fad.
This is not just a story about music. It's about a generation that tried to turn pain into power and lost everything in the process. New York, the city that once breathed music, now breathes memories. The same streets that gave the world hip-hop are now filled with silence, pain, and regret. Every block, every corner, every echo of bass tells a story of dreams that started on fire and ended in ashes. This is not just about music. This is about a generation that tried to turn pain into art and instead became victims of the same world they were trying to escape. It all began with Bobby Shmurda.
I believe this may be an AI voice. However, it seems to not be urbanly influenced. And it's just always odd to see those outside of us just analyzing and describing and depicting what they call themselves, considering themselves to see. It's crazy.
A kid from Brooklyn who didn't just rap, he lived every word he spoke. His dance, his smile, his energy. It felt like New York was back. The city that had lost its throne was alive again. People believed, once more, that hip-hop's heart still beat in Brooklyn. But the same streets that made him a star dragged him back down. Fame came too fast, the world was watching too close, and the streets never forget. Bobby's fall wasn't just his. It was a first sign that New York drill was cursed from the start. Then came Pop Smoke, the voice, the face, the fire of a new era. Deep voice, bold confidence, unstoppable energy. He was more than a rapper. He was a movement. Every song hit like thunder. Every lyric carried power. He didn't just make music. He made people believe. From Brooklyn to London, everyone felt the rise of something unstoppable. For the first time in years, New York was winning again. But fame in New York is a dangerous game. In one night, that fire went out. The world woke up to heartbreak. Pop Smoke was gone, and with him, hope vanished. The news spread like lightning, millions in shock, fans crying, artists frozen.
Casanova and Pop Smoke remind me of what I think drill to be a little more than Bobby Shmurda. However, now that I'm thinking about it, I guess Bobby Shmurda do fit into that category.
That deep voice that made the city feel alive now echoed only in memory. The streets went quiet. The beats fell hollow. And for the first time, New York drill felt like a funeral song. But the movement didn't stop. Others stepped up. Fivio Foreign, K-Flock, Casanova, Chef G, Sleepy Hollow. Each one tried to carry the torch. Each one tried to bring back what was lost. But New York drill wasn't just music anymore. It was a cycle, a pattern that kept repeating. Fame, success, downfall, silence, one by one.
When you look at New York hip-hop of the past, it's like they always marketed their projects as a place of hope. Before this gangsterism took over from everybody else section and they marketed their projects like a place of death. If you go look at New York, they always had the fire hydrants with the water coming out, everybody happy, even though they was in the midst of the struggle. And I think when they flipped it to try to make the darker side of their projects be more prevalent and resemble what everyone else was doing, I think there was somewhat of a disconnect.
The stars fell. Fivio brought the energy, but the world was still haunted by Pop's shadow. K-Flock, young, hungry, fearless, became the voice of the next generation. His music was raw, real, dangerous. People felt his struggle, his truth. But when your lyrics sound like your life, the world starts connecting dots. Soon, his name wasn't in headlines for music anymore. It was for everything else. Another story, another fall. Casanova came with power. Every word he spoke was heavy, real, filled with scars. He was supposed to be the redemption story. But the same streets that made him never truly let him go. One mistake, one headline, one decision, and his career was gone. Another silence, another legend.
Casanova didn't get taken away from one decision. He was found guilty of a string of decisions and situations compiled into an organized crime ring, as a matter of fact. It wasn't just one decision, like an impulsive thing, like kind of like what happened with Troy Ave or certain other individuals. Nah, it was more than one decision.
Fading before he could even shine. Chef G and Sleepy Hollow tried to bring light back. Their sound was smoother, melodic, hopeful. But by now, drill had already changed. It wasn't just a genre, it was grief in rhythm. Behind every beat was a broken promise. Behind every verse, a tragedy waiting to happen. It felt like the more New York drill rose, the more it sank. People started asking questions. Why does every drill star fall? Why does every success story turn into another headline of pain? Maybe it's the streets. Maybe it's the system. Or maybe...
I mean, if Biggie is the king, he said spread love. That's the Brooklyn way. You know what I'm saying? Is they going against the grain of the Brooklyn way?
Maybe it's a curse. Because every time New York drill touched greatness, it lost something greater, its people. Pop Smoke's voice still echoes through the city. You can hear it in cars driving through Brooklyn, in corners where his murals stand, in kids still rapping his words like prayers. But it's not joy anymore, it's longing. The same beats that once made the city dance now make it mourn. The world remembers him, but New York feels him. Every night, every song, every silence. K-Flock's story plays out like a movie that should have ended differently. A young voice that was supposed to save drill, now another name in a long list of what IFS. Casanova's words, once filled with power, now
AI confirmation. Instead of saying what ifs, he said what IFS.
sound like ghosts. Bobby Shmurda smiles to the cameras, but that fire in his eyes, It's not the same. Fame took everything and left only memories. New York drill became more than music. It became a mirror. It showed the world what happens when pain becomes profit. The labels made money. The blogs got clicks. But the artists, they got nothing but scars. Fame in drill wasn't success. It was survival. Every track was confession. Every hit was a countdown. And now, the city that started it all stands in silence. New York, the birthplace of hip-hop, the graveyard of drill. Behind every viral song is a mother crying, a brother missing, a dream fading. The same rhythm that lifted the city up now breaks it down. The same beats
That Crip and Blood didn't quite fly in New York either. Jim Jones and them, when they grabbed that Damu, it didn't resonate. Then the biggest Damu they really pushed was Tekuchi. It's just like New York lost their identity, or just the roughneck. What happened to just the roughneck? They started trying to identify, in my opinion, from my observation, with different stuff like other regions. As certain situations got popular around the states, they kind of adapted what they saw, and it's no longer the New York that it once was whatsoever.
built legends now echo through empty streets. People say drill died with Pop Smoke, but maybe drill didn't die. Maybe it was never meant to live that long. Maybe it was born from pain, meant to burn bright and fade fast.
Just think about it. Drill. When you go on a drill, you go on a drill, and the drill is done. So, the drill era, maybe it was just a drill.
A moment of fire, too real, too raw for the world to handle. This isn't just a story about rappers. This is a story about a generation that tried to fight pain with passion and lost. It's about the city that forgot how to protect its own. It's about fame that feels like freedom until it turns into chains. New York didn't just lose artists. It lost its heartbeat. The beats still play, but they sound empty now, like ghosts whispering through speakers. Every verse feels like a goodbye. Every track feels like a warning. Because this isn't just about drill. This is about dreams. Broken ones, burned ones, buried ones. And somewhere in that silence, between the beats and the tears, you can still hear them. Bobby, Pop, Fivio, K, Casanova, all of them. The voices that built a sound, only to be swallowed by it. After the fall came silence. The streets that once shook with bass and energy now feel haunted. The lights of Brooklyn dimmed. The studios that once echoed with dreams now stand cold and empty. New York drill, once the heartbeat of the city, now feels like a ghost walking among broken promises. Pop Smoke's story became a warning, but no one listened. His voice still plays in cars, in parties, in headphones, but it feels like a cry from the grave. What you know about love hits different when you realize he'll never grow old. His smile, his laugh, his confidence, frozen forever, gone too soon. Then came K-Flock, the new hope, a teenager with the streets in his blood and music in his soul. He carried Pop's spirit.
I know absolutely nothing about dude. Familiar with Casanova, Pop Smoke, Bobby Shmurda, but this dude, clueless.
His energy was wild, fearless, electric. For a moment, it felt like drill could rise again. But fame has a price, and in New York, it's always blood or freedom. One case, one night, one mistake, and another dream vanished behind bars. Another story, another heartbreak. Casanova tried to warn them. He knew the system, the traps, the eyes watching every move. He wanted change, but change never came. The streets don't forgive. The fame doesn't save you. And soon, he too was gone from the stage, leaving behind another silence that no beat could fill. And Bobby Shmurda, the boy who started it all, he walked out of prison to a world that had moved on. The fans cheered, but the fire wasn't the same. His eyes told the truth, that drill didn't just fall, it ate its own. Everywhere you look now, drill shadow hangs heavy. The songs still drop, but they don't feel alive. The lyrics talk about survival, but the faces behind them look tired. The money's there, the fame's there, but the heart, it's gone. The media turned their pain into entertainment. The fans turned their tragedies into memes. And the city that gave birth to a movement turned away when it needed love the most. Every time a new artist rises, people whisper, "Who's next?" Not who's next to blow up, who's next to fall. That's the curse. New York drill was supposed to be power, but it became prophecy, every beat predicting its own end. The same hunger that made it real made it dangerous. And now, the same city that started the movement can't escape its own creation. Still, in the middle of all that darkness, there's a sound, faint but alive. The echo of kids in the Bronx still freestyling on cracked sidewalks. They don't have studios. They don't have money.
But who's saying la-ti-da-ti, we like to party, we don't trouble, we don't bother nobody. Just the man that's on the mic, and when we wrap up on the mic, we rock the mic run. For all of y'all, keeping y'all in health. Where's that guy at? He might bring y'all right back on the map.
But they have that same fire, the one Bobby had, the one Pop had, the one that refuses to die. Maybe that's what drill always was. Not fame, not violence, not pain, but truth. The truth of a city that's broken but still breathing. The truth of kids who have nothing.
Just to keep it at Google, Kendrick is more of Slick Rick than he is of drill. And the mecca hip hop, whose almost exact opposite was the West Coast for the longest in this conversation, has the biggest artists from this country, minus Canada in that debate, even though we would say they not like us. K-Dot even wins that. It just shows how hip hop has come full circle. The less gangster artist is coming from the West Coast, and he's the biggest. That's crazy.
But a beat to survive. The truth that no matter how many times they fall, New York always finds a way to rise again. The downfall wasn't the end. It was a wake-up call, a reminder that greatness comes with grief, that every song that shakes the world leaves behind echoes of pain, that every legend born in these streets is made up of power and tragedy. Now, when you walk through New York at night, you can still feel them. Pop Smoke's voice in the wind, Bobby's laugh in the distance, Fivio's energy in the crowd. They never really left. They live in the rhythm of the city.
Fivio, that name only familiar to me personally, because he has some kind of drama with Mace.
In the heartbeat of those who refuse to let the sound die, drill may have fallen, but it didn't disappear. It became something else, rawer, deeper, heavier, a legacy built on scars and sound. The world might move on, but New York will never forget. Because this isn't just a story of music. It's the story of life, loss, and legacy. It's the story of a city that gave the world a voice, and then lost it to its own echo. And that's why the streets of New York still whisper one name. Drill, the dream that lived too fast, burned too bright, and died too young. New York once ruled the sound of the world. Every block, every street corner, every rooftop echoed with rhythm. But now, that rhythm sounds like heartbreak. The same city that built legends now buries them. The same beats that once made the world dance now make it cry. People thought drill was just music, loud, raw, violent. But drill was more than that. It was a language, a scream from those who had nothing, a heartbeat of the forgotten. For kids growing up in chaos, drill was hope. But that hope came wrapped in pain. Because the higher you rise in New York, the closer you get to the fall. Pop Smoke was supposed to change everything. He did. For a moment, New York was alive again. He brought unity, pride, and global attention. He made Brooklyn the center of the world. But when the news broke that he was gone, everything changed. Fans didn't just lose an artist. They lost a symbol. And that day, New York lost its confidence. Pop's death created a wound that never healed. Every artist who came after him carried that pain, like a shadow they couldn't escape. Fivio tried to keep the flame alive. His songs were filled with spirit, with fight, with energy. But even he knew the light of drill was fading. It wasn't just about music anymore. It was about survival. K-Flock came next, young, hungry, and fearless. His rise was fast, explosive, unstoppable. The industry saw him as a future. But the street saw something else. They saw another name being written in blood. The fame, the followers, the pressure, it all came crashing down. And once again, another story of success turned into another story of loss. Casanova tried to lead differently. He spoke about loyalty, about lessons learned, about change. But even he couldn't escape the chaos. The city doesn't forgive, the system doesn't forget, and his silence became another reminder how fast things disappear in the world of drill. The fans kept watching, hoping, praying that maybe someone would break the cycle. But the cycle never breaks. It repeats again and again. Jail, death, silence, new name, same ending. And yet, New York keeps trying. Because drill isn't just about music anymore. It's about identity, about survival. It's a sound of a city trying to breathe when everything around it is falling apart. You can feel it when you walk through Brooklyn, the ghosts in the beats, the memories in the air, the murals of Pop Smoke, the lyrics of Fivio, the whispers of Bobby. Every wall tells a story. Every streetlight feels like it's morning. The city itself has become a graveyard of rhythm. The most painful part? Drill didn't die from outsiders. It died from within, from betrayal, from the hunger for fame that destroyed brotherhood, from an industry that wanted the sound but not the struggle, from fans who wanted the hits but ignored the hurt. Now, every new artist faces a choice: stay real or stay alive, make music that sells or music that saves. But in New York drill, sometimes you can't have both. The same truth that makes your lyrics powerful can also make your life dangerous. And the same streets that cheer your success can turn against you overnight. Still, the legacy remains. Every beat, every song, every video, a reminder of what was lost and what still burns. Drill changed the world. It gave a voice to the voiceless. It made the world listen to pain and dance to it. But now, that sound feels like a memory, like an echo trapped in the concrete of New York. The fire still flickers, but it's weaker. The laughter, the life, the love that wants to find the culture now feels heavy, haunted. And yet, even in the darkest corners of the Bronx and Brooklyn, kids still pick up their phones and record freestyles. They still dream. They still rap about pain, because pain is all they've ever known. That's the twisted beauty of drill. Even when it dies, it's reborn. Again and again. The downfall of New York drill isn't just a tragedy. It's a reflection. A mirror showing what fame costs, what pain sounds like, and how dream can destroy the people who chase them. And when the music fades, when the lights dim, when the noise finally stops, one question remains. Did drill die, or did New York forget how to listen? Because somewhere, in a small apartment in Brooklyn, a kid is still writing. His voice shakes, his hands tremble, but his heart, it beats in drill.
Man, they don't write that shit's on the spot, off the lean, in the moment, off the mood.
And maybe that's how it all begins again. If you made it this far, then you felt it. You didn't just hear the story, you lived it. The rise, the fire, the heartbreak, the faces behind the fame, the dreams that burned too bright. This isn't just a story of New York drill. It's the story of every artist who gave everything and got nothing in return. So now it's your turn. Don't let their voices fade. Don't let their stories be forgotten under the noise of the internet. Share this video. Spread it. Let the world know that behind every beat, there was blood, sweat, and a broken dream. Every time you replay a song, remember the pain that made it real. Remember the names: Pop Smoke, Bobby Shmurda, K Flock, Casanova, Fivio, Chef G Sleepy Hollow. They weren't just rappers, they were history written in heartbreak. If you've ever lost someone too soon, if you've ever chased a dream that cost you everything, this story is for you. Because drill wasn't just their voice, it's a voice of every broken soul who refused to stay silent. Hit that like button, comment their names, flood the chat with hearts. Let this video be their memorial, their moment, their echo. Because legends never die, they live on through us. And if you're watching from New York, look around. The city still breathes their energy. The beats may fade, but the fire never will. So subscribe, not for the views, not for the fame, but for the movement, for the memory, for the truth.
There are many things in our community that we have romanticized personally that need to be eliminated, destroyed, and just definitely need to die. Perhaps drill is one of them. I'm not saying necessarily for sure it is, but I'm pretty sure that there's an argument to be made for that. However, what we cannot do is allow someone from the outside to romanticize it to the point where we view it as something it isn't. And that little accented AI voice does not seem to be um, generated by someone that thinks like one of us, man. So it is what it is, and New York drill was what it was or is what it is. But we can't say this: New York drill is not the essence what New York hip hop started off with. On my mama.
Yeah, neighborhood Nip Hustle. Giving a shout out right now to SPR, Sparta Low. Y'all already know what it is. Source Neighborhood Nip Hustle. Big shout out to SPR, Sparta Low. You know I'm in the black box. Had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned. All that.